Hello. So I'm so excited. My book, It's Not You by Dr. Ramani, actually came in, and it's identifying and healing from narcissistic people. And I know many of you are thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I know many people in my life that are narcissistic. I do want to give a quick disclaimer that the stories or scenarios that I'm using don't include anyone's name or personal identity and are only explaining my experience. This is a great book, and I do suggest purchasing it on your own if you find yourself wanting to take action and controlling your own life. And it is tough. It's tough to do. It takes true encouragement, and it is never one and done. And it's definitely not a walk in a park. So, upon reading this and doing my book review on my YouTube channel, I am going to kind of go back and forth with explaining what my thoughts are to you all as I read through the book. I am going to do this in segments. If you would like to purchase a full book review, you may go to my website and listen to an in-depth review. So basically, throughout life, they're always describing different kinds of diagnoses and different character traits of people. And one that has really been such a craze over the last several years is the word narcissistic. And it is very difficult to define that if you are not one that gets out and is um, involved with different kinds of individuals in your life, if you don't have a lot of life exposure to different cultures or races, it can really take an overwhelming ripple effect over you. And so it is important to not ever take full ownership of these terms that you don't have a clear understanding of, and kind of live according to what you want out of a relationship, a situation, a job, an experience, because things are ever changing. So that's important. I really relate to the author, and that is why I was so compelled to get this book in the first place, because I've been hitting a wall every time I feel like I am making progress forward, and there was just something that was not allowing me to propel forward in the way that I need to. So I acknowledge that, there's several different people. I'm not going to get into an in-depth love story, a hate story, any kind of thing like that. So it's just going to be a generic um, dialogue about things that have happened with me, because I always tell my clients or anyone that I meet with, it takes more than a few weeks, a few months. It takes a lifetime to really know someone. So what you really have to do is your own math. And that doesn't mean like actually in an algorithm or code. It means that you really have to watch and decide who's worth even delving deep into those things with. So the first chapter was about the narcissistic relationship, and everyone wants to be in a relationship. They talk about, they want a companion, they want someone there for them, a relationship with their child, a relationship with their parents, a relationship with their spouse, a relationship with, you know, anyone that they come in contact with. However, I do think as clinicians, a relationship is impossible to define. And it all depends on putting yourself literally in that person's life. And no one has the time to do that. Or you're never going to truly reach any fulfillment within your own. So a relationship isn't something that can, be observed through watching TV, reading someone else's notes, letters. It can't get defined that way. A relationship is ultimately an experience. And you, you know, I don't know why it's so hard. I was in therapy the other day. I don't know why it's so hard to spend so much time with people in your life. And you just think, gosh, I want this relationship, or "Oh, I just know this relationship is no longer serving me. It's no longer good for me." However, it's still tough to walk away. And I just think that's because it's just an idealization. And I often define it now as a constant. Remember when there was like a lot of television shows and there would be a pilot for, a new idea for this and a new idea for that. I now find with like music and everything else, with having a narcissist in your life in many different roles, if you don't get over it, and I still don't have complete control over it, it's going to end up being an entire parody. And I know that when I wake up at the end of my milestones, or I wake up at the end of my voyage in life, and I look back 80, 100 years from now, I don't want my life to be a constant parody. And so I knew that I had to do something. And so every day it is a fight, not physically like out causing, you know, chaos or ruckus or anything like that. It is a constant fight to reclaim myself in the way that I should, with my own story, not taking on the narrative of everyone else around me, because we all have our own life experience. And yes, stories are great. However, when they become repetitive, someone has to be hurt quicker, faster, louder, more. It doesn't ever get truly solved. And so I had to take a step back and really, really, really dig down and do my own work. I grew up in a great environment externally. However, what happened at home stayed at home. What happened within the family stayed within the family. And often others have that same scope. So it got redundant of trying to make people understand my point of view. And it got exhausting for, them to try to go find something else to make me see things in a different way. So I just knew that, wasn't for me. I am very cognizant and conscious of who I allow in my personal space, because with online and real world time, there's no need for having any insecurities or anything within a relationship. There's no need for a constant comparison of what's acceptable and what's not. Um, I have an agreement with myself. And when those boundaries are crossed, there's nothing to discuss. So there's always going to be something better, something more grandiose, something more inclusive, something more high level. However, when you're secure within yourself, those are the things that no longer validate you. And that's, ultimately what I needed to get to be able to clearly reach the level of clarity that I needed, which is what they go over in chapter 1, which is clarifying narcissism. And she goes through the book, and it's really good how she gives different short stories of other people that she's worked with and everything like that. So narcissistic people, you come in contact with them often. But it's more complex, and I like how she talks about getting away from the clinical term, because if you don't have experience with these people, or you're not really equipped to deal with them, bringing a lot of observations within to different settings, that doesn't create a whole picture that clinicians need to be able to effectively treat these people or find a solution for them, because often they go out and they hide out in the world very, very well. So it depends on what you're trying to actually get to. Um, However, you'll never get to the point with a narcissist. So it's all about internalizing their idea of scenarios and everything, and how they think life should turn out to be in the long run. And typically, if it doesn't benefit them, or they don't feel like it's going to equip them in any capacity that requires them to level up, then you're like trash. You're just a disposal to them. And so it's really important to not, to not really go around trying to find something to diagnose them with. It's going to be a point in your life where you're like, I have nothing else to say. I've exhausted all of my efforts, and this may require me taking a step away. It may require my light being dimmed. It may require my life being a lot less loud. However, for me, it was totally worth it. Um, they're unable to self navigate, they're unable to um, really do an inventory of themselves without including everything else around them. So they really don't understand, nor do they care to understand, how their choices or behaviors affect and impact everyone else around them. So often it's like you're living this a fragmented life, trying to please a narcissist, which never is going to happen. Okay. So I really think that this is a great book. And then in chapter 2, it talks about a death by a thousand cuts, and being in a relationship with a narcissist. So there are dimmer patterns and everything, but like I just said previously, it's worth your light being dimmed a little, because you never want to take on a narcissist in a very aggressive way. You're going to want to be tactful when dealing with the narcissist. It's basically kind of like dealing with someone that you know has committed a crime, or dealing with someone that you know is going to react to some news that you have to deliver them. So it's something that you never want to confront. You have to be very tactful. And no, tactful doesn't mean like a group of people, a society, a protest, or anything like that. It means like strategically really thinking and really having some trusted individuals that can help you. This is not something that you want to take on completely alone, but you also never want to take it on with a bulk of people. So like I said, they do discard. I'm just through chapters 1 and 2. This is the first review. I do have a longer review, like I said, in more depth on my other website. However, this is just a sample. And like I said, if you're really big into getting a diverse view um, and some other outlook onto these relationships, I do recommend it. However, if you're one that, you only do well listening and interpreting from a specific profile, then it's not for you, and that's okay. But this book really resonated for me. So if you like it, you may purchase it online or in stores. And I hope you heal from whatever narcissistic situation is taking over you. Thank you.